So let's say you're through hiking, but you really wanted that bottle of wine with your takeout Mexican food. Well, what are you to do? I mean, you could buy a $2 wine opener at the store, but then you just have to throw it away, and that would be wasteful. You could use your little dime multi-tool, but this pretty much can't do crap. So, what did I do? I mean, I've seen things where people like whack it against the wall with a shoe. I'd probably just put a hole in the hotel room. So I used a tent stake. You can use the tent stake, force the cork through, which will work. However, the problem is the moment when you push it through, you've now created so much force that wine shoots out. So, best way to do it, strip naked, do it in the tub, and then feel slightly bad that the towel you were using to try and contain the mess now looks like you committed a murder in said hotel tub. Through hiker tips.
I am out of here today. This is all I can take. I'm ready to get hiking again. Hopefully my feet are. So here's Julian. He's a trail angel out of Okeechobee. He was nice enough to come pick me up this morning. So thanks.
Good luck, buddy.
Thanks. So I just got dropped off at the Dollar General. Now I have a couple of miles walking along the road because I am an idiot. Meaning, most people would probably just jump to the next section of dike, but if I skip that, where's it going to stop? So I got dropped off right where I got picked up at the Dollar General at Buckhead Ridge, and I'm moving on. Julian did say this trail gets better further north I go, so that's a little encouraging. Also, Sean was mentioning that while it is a canal for a while, about 16 miles once I turn off this road, it starts to get a little more natural looking. So there's the Buckhead Ridge motel option. Could have stayed here, but guess I'm happy with my decision to go into Okeechobee in the end. So this is what the Buckhead Ridge housing development is built around. All these little canals. Kind of cool. So there's the Kissimmee River. Looks like that's the best water source I'm going to get for a while. My camp is in about 10 miles, but the water source at the camp and right before is listed as really bad. One of them says there's multiple dead animals floating in it, and the other one says it stinks really, really bad. So I think I'm filling up out of this river before I leave it. This cloud cover is really a godsend, because without that, it's just brutally hot out here. Hard to find any shade. I took a break a while ago, just kind of out underneath those trees. Really wouldn't mind if it rained on me, honestly. So I ended up spending 3 nights in Okeechobee, which wasn't in the original plan. I was just going to resupply at Buckhead Ridge and then push on. But my feet were so bad, every step was agony, even trying to shorten the days. I had a blister running down a third of my foot. I don't know what was going on. And then, because I was limping so badly due to the blister, I think, I ended up with my calf getting messed up. So then I was really hurting. So I went into town, stayed at the Flamingo one night, switched to the Best Western the next night, and then I was all ready to go yesterday. I had packed up, and I was just sitting there debating. Talked to Jen, and she really encouraged me to wait out another day, because for the next 100 miles or so, I don't even have any options like that. It's going to be fairly remote. And in the end, it seems like that wasn't a bad idea. My feet are doing much better today. Every step isn't agony. It's a little dull because I'm just walking down this, but supposedly less than 10 miles, this turns into more of a trail. Who knows? So I'm a little bit behind schedule now. My schedule's on the rough side and doesn't generally account for zeros. And basically, I'm just playing a long game. When I was talking to Jen, her point was it was better to rest and trying to get to something sustainable versus be repeatedly fighting to make it 5 or 10 miles a day and just be doing more damage. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Reasonable mileage, don't push it too much, and just hope that whatever caused that hellacious blister doesn't reoccur. Once I left the north side of Lake Okeechobee, I'm officially done with the southern Florida section as divided up in gut hooks. And now I'm on to central Florida, which will take me up the Kissimmee River, which is off to my left, and then around the east side of Orlando. I don't really know a whole lot of details about what's ahead. I know at one point I've got to get a boat to hitch across a river somewhere. I just kind of plan, a week in advance and figure out what the food I need to carry and if there's any permits. I actually had to apply for a camping permit from the water district for tonight, but that's no big deal. Came across a little water cache here, which is kind of a nice surprise because it's hot and thirsty work out here. A well-blazed road. Hey, more roadside trail magic. It's kind of funny how much the little things can really cheer you up. That house had a sign out for hikers saying, supplies. And in addition to a lot of really thoughtful things, they had cold water. Tasted a little of sulfur, but I don't care. It was cold water. Still road walking. I know what you're thinking. Matt, you're still walking down a road. Yes, but this is a subtly different road. Before it was going north. Now it's going west as far as I can see. So this is the last water source I have for a little while, but I filled up out of the caches, so I think I'm just going to continue. Reached the Yates March Trailhead. There's a campsite up here I'm probably going to end up using. It's been about 18 miles and I want to go easy on my feet. Otherwise I have to go a couple of more miles to reach the next one. What's this? Not a road or a canal? This I could get used to. Home sweet home. Not too shabby. I had a really nice night here at Yates South. The gut hooks comments are hit and miss as always. There were people talking about how high traffic it was and running into hunters. I had it to myself. There was a lot of animal noises last night. I'm pretty sure I heard like wild hogs around. It sounded like a donkey or a horse or something in the distance. Some cows and all the usual little stuff. So really nice. I hope this keeps up. I know I have some roads in between the sloughs, but at least this is better than endless canals, right? Now, I don't have an orange vest with me. It is, I guess, small game hunting season. So I have this extra orange buff on my head. I have the orange sleep pad, and then I got my bright orange shorts. So hopefully nobody shoots me. So if you're curious what electrical would look like in a quasi-remote campsite like this, there's this power pole. Now, it's reading as off, and it apparently hasn't worked for a while. Which is a shame, I'd always charge my phone if I had the choice. And then there is this pump. People say that the water smells kind of sulfury. Now, I had well water out of a water cache a ways back, and it smelled sulfury too. I've had that around hot springs and things, and generally if you leave the water bottle out and open for a while, it seems to improve to the point where you can at least get it down. That's what I did last night, and I didn't even notice the taste this morning. So just FYI. I have been checking gut hooks, and according to that, there are a couple of water caches up ahead, so I'm just going to move forward with 1.5 liters and hop between water caches, I think. Now, I don't know what's causing it, but I've got something going on with my legs. When I got to the tent last night, you could see it just all over. It feels a little bit itchy and then a little bit just like a sunburn. It burns a little. I really don't know what I could have got into because, I came out of a town yesterday and I didn't really get into any vegetation. And I'm wearing my Dirty Girl gaiters and it was under that. So I don't know. If it looks familiar, you got any guesses, please let me know because I'd be curious. I'm really hoping this doesn't get much worse because it's already a little bit miserable. Hopefully it just gets better on its own. So this is the water source next to Yates South, assuming, the pitcher jug isn't working. It doesn't look great. I can kind of smell it from here. It's stagnant and there's an oily film on the top, but I mean, there's stuff living in there, so it can't be that bad, right? I'm pretty sure this isn't gonna last, but I sure as hell wish it was. My feet feel so much better when I'm off pavement for any length of time. It's raining on me a little again. Already rained earlier this morning. I've basically had to get used to just putting the tent fly on every night because it either rains or it's so just damp out that the rain fly is usually soaked, especially during the canal camping sections. But it's nice out here this morning. Somebody's not happy about me being out here. Who needs hiker gates when you've got partially intact hiker ladders to get over locked gates? Water cache people, have I mentioned yet that I love you guys and gals? So whenever I get to one of the water caches, I basically try and drink at least a liter. That way I don't have to carry too much and I have some flexibility. Because who knows if the future caches are going to be there, or if there even are any. I do have my Sawyer S1 filter that I've yet to have to use. I cleaned it out in the hotel about a week ago, but I have it if I need it. But thanks to these guys, I've just been going cache to cache. Well. That wasn't too bad, and now I got another trail section. I could live with this. Hey there, buddy. This has been a far better section so far. And back on the road. Also, I think these horses think I'm going to feed them. Sorry guys, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't like what I got. That's what they were eating off. Big boys. I'm really starting to wonder if I'm ever going to need that filter at this rate. I mean, these water caches are great, and there's stops along the way like this church where I can use the faucets. So I just passed two separate indicators that talked about being a high water alternative. Wonder if I'm going to regret this here in a mile or two. So I usually go out of my way to try and keep my ultras from getting wet, especially on my experiences in the PCT where the Lone Peaks fell apart. And it tends to do not good things to my feet. But I inadvertently stepped into it here. So, well, just have to push through. Suddenly getting flashbacks to my swamp walking days here. I've come across a number of spots like this that are dug up. I don't know if that's the wild pigs or what. So I was talking to Mike Gormley on Facebook, and apparently this section was only open 3 years ago. Before that, you had to go on the road you can hear in the background. So cool, more trail. Welcome to Miko Landing Campsite. So technically, this is the last site for 10 miles. I don't really think I want to stop at 1:30 in the afternoon though, so I think I'm going to push on. I'll either make Oak or stop somewhere along the way. Okay, maybe it was for the best that I didn't stop, considering I'm right back to wading through water again right after Miko. wild oranges. These muddy bits really suck. I've got another 5 miles till Oak, but I'm ready to stop. My feet are beat up enough, so I'm just stealthing along the way, and then that means in the morning, in a handful of miles, I'll actually have a porta potty out here. Luxury. Well, pretty much everything's wet this morning. My shoes had a number done on them by the mud and the water, of course. And I think my shirt was just sweat soaked. Check out all the spider webs over there, though. Spider City. Where were you in the cow pasture? So if my shoes weren't wet from yesterday, they would be today. So here's Oak Creek South at about mile 189 and change. I would have liked to have made it here last night, but it was a good call stopping when I did. Honestly, I'm going to have to kind of reevaluate the next 2 days or so, because there are set campsites and they don't seem to be laid out around the mileage I would really like to be doing, so I might have to either take it a bit easier or try and push it, assuming my feet will let me do that. Starvation Slough. Such an appealing name. So I'm here at the entrance to Starvation Slough. I was pretty thirsty, so I've been taking advantage of the water cache and trying to let my shoes dry out a little bit. There is a bathroom here, which is nice. I guess that's not normally here. Based on the amount of toilet paper I'd found in the bushes, though, probably a good call to install it. So I think based on how today's going, I'm probably going to do the closer campsite. I don't think my feet are up for pushing a 20-some mile day. That does mean that tomorrow I could end up staying at the Kissimmee State Park campground, assuming they have room for me, and that means I might get a shower and laundry. So this section's been a little less clear. You can see I'm not really following a set trail. But again, whoever has worked on these blazes has done just an awesome job. 99% of the time that seems to answer the question of which way to go, even if you're in an overgrown or flooded section. I love these oak hammock sections. Shade and just pretty as all hell. That plane you can hear in the background, I keep getting buzzed by various types of military jets. Must be a base nearby. There's another one of those planes. One of them went right above me maybe an hour ago. There's been a couple of different ones. There's those that look almost like warthogs. They keep doing maneuvers. This is why I haven't really been paying much attention to the natural water source markers on gut hooks. This is pretty bad. So I'm currently sitting at Starvation North just for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to keep pushing on. Just ran into a lady who goes by Lightfoot, who had already done the AT. She's flipping around on the Florida Trail, so she's just got another 5 miles, and she's going to jump back up to Orlando, where she ended up starting. But she has a permit to do the PCT, and I have to admit I'm kind of jealous, because so far this trail just hasn't quite had the same magic that being on the PCT had. Okay, here I am at mile 200. Home sweet home for the night. Not too bad, other than that river is one of the more polluted waterways in Florida, apparently, from what I've been reading. Still, not a bad spot. Dinner. I do kind of miss my stove sometimes.